If I've ever seen one.
Am I responsible? Yes. We passed 5 places I'd be willing to stop at, including Dante's Inferno.
Oh.
But you kept on telling the driver, go on, like it was a chariot race in a Roman forum.
Well, he sure in hell took us out of the lively district, didn't
At
he?
your insistence, honey, a child shall lead them. But now that we're here, we might make the best of it.
And how are we going to go about doing that?
By sitting down and getting organized, honey.
Okay.
The waiter is cute.
I ask you one favor and one favor only.
Oh, what is that, Bessie?
Do not get us involved with the waiter.
Waiter?
Wait a minute, I think we're going to take account of our finances before he comes along. Okay, how much have you got left?
6 bits and a bunch of these little paper things.
Mills!
How much are they worth?
1/10 of 1 cent.
Hey-o.
Oh, somebody's in awful good spirits. Oh, waiter, this place is just a tissue of lies.
Why do you say that, lady?
Well, outside there's a sign that says dancing and live floor show every Saturday night. Where's the dancing? Where's any floor show?
Well, Ben quit.
Oh, I see. How ducky. That just solves all our problems.
When does the joint liven up?
Well, at 1 o'clock, the joint is joint.
5 of 9 and the place is paralyzed.
We're members of the Women's Auxiliary of the Jackson Haggerty Post of the Sons of Mars in Memphis.
Come up for the annual convention.
However, we got separated from Johnny and Ralph, the boys who came off with our party.
So now we're just out on the town.
But haven't located a single boy that we came with.
Never have seen a convention in such confusion.
Nobody knows where anybody's located.
We have done worn ourselves out just trying to locate people.
The earth has swallowed up every boy that we came with.
We always come to the National Convention, but this is such a terrible...
disappointment. But 2 gals by themselves can have a good deal of fun as long as they know how to be good sports about it.
As long as they can agree on major issues. We'll have 2 beers.
Nickel glasses or 26 ounces for a dime.
Bring us 2 fish bowls.
Of liquid amber, please. Kinda cute, eh?
Oh, honey, anybody that's pint size can't be cute.
Well, chacun a son goût. Waiter! Don't any Sons of Mars come here?
As a matter of fact, there were 2 who just came in here before you leave.
Oh, honest to God.
Yeah. One of the 2 was dripping wet with water.
What?
How come?
Well, he said that they had been dropping paper sacks out of the hotel windows, and they were filled with water. And one of these paper sacks had landed on his head and then spilt all the water over him.
Those ladies think of the craziest thing.
Oh, that's what I like about it.
That's what I love. Oh.
You know what they are. Just great, big, overgrown balls.
My girlfriend and I have become to every annual convention since
Time immemorial. Yes. I wonder which hotel they dropped the paper sacks out of.
I bet you it was the Statler.
Why, the Statler?
Because the Statler is always so lively.
It might just as well have been the Coronado or the Jefferson.
Not the Jefferson.
Why not the Jefferson?
Honey, the Jefferson is a very dignified hotel.
There is no such thing.
There is only one hotel in all of America that I am right down sentimental about.
And which one is that?
The Sherman Hotel in Chicago. Straight to the 1926 convention. The best of them all without any single exception.
It all depends on the crowd you get throwing with.
Yeah, sociability is all that really counts. However, the Sons are a very serious organization in many respects.
The country would be in a terrible fix without them.
You ain't just whistling Dixie. But I tell you, them boys, they are just terrible cut up.
You heard what they did down on Washington Avenue?
No.
What?
Oh, they stripped the clothes off a young girl and they sent her home in a yellow taxi cab naked.
I double dog dare anybody to try that one on me.
Oh, honey, that son of Mars wouldn't even blow his nose on this place.
Was all for stopping at the Statler.
What's wrong with the Statler?
When did we ever have any luck at the Statler?
What?
In whose recollection?
Mine, you wasn't along.
Nope, I guess it wasn't.
But you have heard me speak of that restaurant man from Chicago.
How'd you speak of him? Continually, yes.
Well, the Statler was where I made that man's acquaintance.
And well, do I remember how that one turned out.
I have no regret. I have no regret whatsoever.
Bessie, you got no pride where men are concerned.
No. I got no pride when men are concerned. You ain't got no pride when men are concerned either. But nobody's got no pride when men are concerned. That's just the way it is, so let's face that. I'm not cold-hearted. When I get with a boy, well, I'm just as anxious as he is to have a good time.
More.
Yes, more. That is to say, I always go at least halfway with him.
More than halfway, honey.
Yes, sometimes even more than halfway. I'm too wise to be criticized for that.
Nobody's spoken a word of criticism.
I do my part to create some happiness in the world, even if it is just for one night. Ain't no crime since you can't give a good time and a pleasant memory, even to a stranger.
Whoever said that it was?
Now, some people have seemed to take that attitude.
Well, I'll certainly never.
You talked about pride as if I didn't have none.
No, I said false pride, not pride. There's a difference there, see?
Yes, that's what I was pointing out.
All I mean is, a gal mustn't compromise with her self-respect.
Well, she don't need to. I don't see why she should.
Well, that's exactly the point I was making.
Except you sometimes go to the other extreme.
I do?
Uh-huh.
Extreme, may I ask?
Self-respect.
You mean I'm not a good sport?
Oh, honey, that is just the opposite of my meaning.
Well, your meaning is private as far as I'm concerned.
Well, the problem with you is that your mind wanders off the subject, but your gums go right on chopping along as if you waited to see a word that was spoken. And that is what makes it so difficult to speak with you.
No! For what?
No. Tennessee thoughts, Miss Merriweather.
I had my character read this afternoon.
A gypsy?
No. It was read by a parrot.
Are you kidding?
No.
Oh.
I gave the man a dime. and he opened the parrot's cage. And the parrot hopped out and put his head in a box and took out a piece of paper with his beak. I took the piece of paper, and guess what it said?
How would I guess what it said on that piece of paper?
I'll tell you, Bessie. You have a sensitive nature and are frequently misunderstood by your close companions.
Ha ha!
Imagine it, Bessie, a perfect analysis given by a parrot.
Honey, I don't have very much faith in that kind of Well?
Wipe your chin off, Bessie. You've got foam on it.
Oh! Oh. Well, thank you, Miss Meriwether. May I ask you a question?
What, Miss Higginbotham?
You still keeping up with them youthful beauty treatments?
I had a youthful beauty treatment this afternoon.
Oh, how are you satisfied with what they are doing?
I have noticed 100% improvement in my skin since I started taking those youthful beauty treatments.
I'm glad you've noticed it, honey.
Why haven't you?
Laura, your main beauty problem is not blackheads, honey. It's large paws.
I haven't a single blackhead left in my face. Just a few little white heads. And this little doohickey here, which is just a spot where I squeezed out one with a hairpin.
Laura, your problem is skin. Let's just face that.
Everybody's problem is skin, including yours, Bessie. But of course, your primary problem is keeping down weight.
Honey, I am the type of person that can carry a good deal of weight because of my large bone structure. However, it has always been rather well distributed on me.
As long as you won't face facts, there's no sense talking. Complacency's one thing, submissive's another.
Honey, what does a man look at with greater interest? A straight back chair or a rocker?
Depends on the man and on the relative size of the rocker. Bessie, do you know what would do you an awful lot of good?
What?
Bending exercise.
I thought you was gonna say yogi. Oh, who wants to do all that bending?
Well, everybody does who wants to keep a youthful contour. You got to resign yourself to making some effort, unless you prefer to let things take their course. Nature is not on the side of a girl over 30.
For once in your life, you ain't just whistling Dixie.
Honey, why don't you and I play golf on Sundays?
What, have you struck all on your property?
What's that got to do with it?
Expenses! It's a millionaire sport.
It's not so expensive, except you pay caddies and all.
And all is correct. Now first you gotta buy the balls, and then you lose them, and then you gotta buy more. You can't take up golf without an initial outlay of something like $35, and that is the beginning only.
You don't have to lose balls, do you?
You don't have to lose balls, but you don't.
Anyway, outdoor sports are a wonderful basis for friendship.
You mean with men?
Uh-huh.
Eunice McFeeters, just to mention a case in point. has been playing golf for going on 15 years. Now, has she ever made such contact with men?
Probably has. Don't see any reason to doubt it. Consider the number and types of men that play golf.
Consider Eunice. Her face is frozen in a perpetual sneer. A girl like her could be stranded on a desert island outnumbered 50 to 1 by males and still manage to escape without a mild flirtation.
You don't appreciate Eunice. Eunice has got common sense, and it shows in her face.
Is that what shows in her face?
Any girl who's been through what Eunice McFitters has been through with her home situation and all can't be expected to look upon that as one continual enjoyment.
Whoa. Well, honey, why talk about golf as the be-all and end-all of living?
Who does and whoever did?
Eunice and you. Except she does and you don't.
I'm just trying to think of something to help you, Bessie.
Oh, honey. Well, then, you accept my thanks. That my heartfelt appreciation. And please don't strain your thinking apparatus.
Sarcasm, Bessie?
No. But I came out this evening for the purpose of diversion. Now, that is the only purpose why I left my hotel room this evening. If you are in accord with that purpose, good. If otherwise, goodbye! Separation is quite simple. You go to the Statler and I go to the Coronado. Or the other way around, whichever way you prefer, but do not try to drag me down into a state of depression. I have had rotten luck with men. Not once, but always. But you've had your share of disappointments too. So far, so good. You start harping on Yogi and Eunice's golf, and it's girl goodbye. We have come to the sad, sweet parting, and I mean of the wedding. Huh. Oh! Ah! Yeah?
You know, after Howard, you let yourself go.
Yeah. Like you after Vernon. Well, I went through a terrible period there for a while.
You took a negative attitude toward things. Acted as if all hope was gone out of life. But instead of wasting away, you put on flesh. Honestly, Bessie, you blew up like a balloon.
I used to wear a size 8.
Honey, that must have been long before I knew you.
1930.
That recently, honey?
I didn't have no figure problem till the winter of 1932. Whereas, you've always been bedeviled by your complexion, isn't that so?
That's only because I have such a fine grained skin.
Well, possibly. But...
Why?
Well, you've never really hit on a variable comedy now, have you?
What's wrong with the one I got down last week at Antoinette's?
Honey, the upswept style is not for your kind of face. Now, different types of faces require different types of hairdo. Just the way that two different kinds of figures cannot put on the same type of clothes. What you require is horizontal lines because of the distance between your chin and your forehead.
I haven't forgotten the time that you called me horse face.
Honey, I only meant that you have the long top of face, whereas I have the broad one. You know what you would need? Some bushing around the temples, the aureole.
Oreo?
Mm-hmm.
Like a bird?
No, honey, it's spelled a bit differently there. Oh, you never mind that. What I mean to say is that Antoinette is no good friend of yours. Not from the grotesque things that they do to your face. Oh, 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 oh,
Oh.
well, you harp on Yogi and you Feeta's whole situation, and you claim that your sensitive nature is misunderstood by everyone except the parrot. Me, I give you some sensible advice, and tear, all fountain of them. You repair the ravages. We are going to go to the Statler.